What's up, everyone? It's Anna, also known as that Star Wars girl, and today I'm going to be talking about Batwoman Episode 2. Now, a lot of you guys actually seem to really enjoy my first review of this episode and the way that I review things. So, just so you guys know, I know a lot of people don't watch my Star Wars Resistance review videos, but the way I do reviews when I'm talking about a TV show and doing a recap of an episode is I kind of just tell it like I'm talking to my friends. That's why I'm all animated like that, because usually when I talk to my friends, I'm excited, especially since I don't live close to them, and, you know, they live super far away. And so when we finally see each other, it's like, I missed you, let me pour my heart and soul out, and yeah, I get pretty animated. So, everyone seemed to like that video, so if you like that, you want to see more of that kind of, animated Anna type of thing with all the energy, go watch my Star Wars Resistance reviews. But anyway, let's get to this, because, oh my goodness, and I want everyone to understand. It's not virtue signaling SJW nonsense. It's just straight up bad. Like, it's one thing to have politics and, you know, that kind of stuff shoved down your throat. This, it's just, and I don't usually like to use the word cringy, but it's like, ugh, why? Like, again, like I said in the first review, it's like when you go and watch, like, you know, a Latin novella, it's like that, where it's like overacting. I am here, and I am this character, and I'm going to be like this, and I'm going to say my lines like this, and it's going to be intense, and dramatic, and over the top, and it's like that with every single character, except for Kate, except for Batwoman. Ruby Rose is like this, and I'm going to talk as if I am the female version of the Terminator, except I'm not funny. And it's like you would expect, if everyone's going to be dramatic like this, why wouldn't the main character, why would you get such like a flat, you know, just monotone person to be this? I know they wanted to get an actual lesbian to play Batwoman, and I guess that's the closest to, you know, virtue signaling and SJW nonsense that they have, but let's get on to this. So the first thing we got going on in this episode is they're talking about how Batwoman, Kate, how her girlfriend's married to a dude, and her stepsister, the one that's, you know, it's all onto, you know, Twitter, let me do this, let me do all the hot new, you know, socialite type of stuff, but also she's a secret doctor, has got a secret lab, where she does doctor stuff with, you know, 'cause she's going to med school, she's got this secret little clinic where she helps people with all this medical equipment, technology, and nobody questioned where any of it went, but whatever, plot, right? So she's just making a big deal about how the ex-girlfriend is now married to a dude, and, you know, talking about it. What does this mean? What can we do? Like, is she ever gonna, like, express her feelings for you? What happened? Did you guys talk about it? Let me get the deets, girl. And then Kate just totally changed the subject and just like, at the breakfast, Dad, I think Alice is Beth, my sister that died, that we gave up looking for, you gave up looking for. And the dad's like, no, it's not. The dad, the most dramatic guy in the world. I'm like, dude, you were good and ever after, you're awesome as Prince Henry, but, like, just stop. And he's like, no, that's not your sister. We found bone fragments of her skull. We know it's not her. Dun 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 dun. And then they go on, plot moving. So Kate has this knife that has Alice's DNA on it. So she wants to get that tested. She wants to compare that DNA to hers to prove that, you know, they're related, that they're twins. They are fraternal twins, so obviously their DNA is not going to be the same, but, you know, if I did a swap with my DNA, obviously I'm going to have DNA in common with the sibling as compared to some random person. So she's got the knife, and then so she goes to talk to the girlfriend, or the ex-girlfriend, and they're sitting there. She's like, do you have a moment alone? Because I need to talk to you about this. And so they go into, they're in the Crow building, the top secret, well, I guess it's not secret because it kind of, I mean, I don't know why they would advertise where their headquarters are, but you would think that this place had some kind of security, considering this is supposed to be, you know, the Navy SEALs' top-notch security thing for the entire city. They're supposed to be the ones that are going to protect Gotham, since the police can't do it, and since Batman's not there anymore. These are the guys you go to get stuff done, to get things protected. And, you know, you would think that their building, their headquarters, you would think it had security. So, Take that in mind. So the girls are in the basement and they're talking. They're looking at this knife. They're gonna do something with the DNA. And then Kate makes a point of saying, "If I would have known you were getting married, I would have come back." And she's just like, "Well, I didn't think you were much for weddings." She's like, "No, I didn't mean to go to it. I meant to stop it." It's like, come on. You dated this girl years ago when you guys got caught making out because you were making out during the time when you were training in the service, and you signed the paper saying that you were, not following rules. You were dishonorably discharged because you weren't following the rules. And this girl, the girl that you're in love with, she didn't have the balls to have your back. And she was just she signed the paperwork. She lied about, being a lesbian. And and her excuse to you was, "Oh, well, I'm not rich like you. I have to do this program so that way I can be a crow. My life depends on it. My career depends on it." So that girl that kind of gave up on you and then said, "Oh, by the way, we are not going to just, we could have both just lied, signed the paperwork, and then just, not made out while we're doing training and just made out, when we're not on training, when we're done with this, because what? I don't know how long it took them to be in that thing, but, it's going to end sometime. She's not part of the service now. She's gonna go and, be a crow." They could have just waited like a couple years, only made out, on dates or when you're at home, not, at work. Well, I mean, when you're training for something, when you're at boot camp, don't make out when you're at work. But no, okay, well, whatever. So they broke up. She said we shouldn't see each other anymore. So that girl that dumped you, you want to tell her that after all this time, first on, you didn't move on from somebody that didn't have your back and dumped you. Well, for whatever reason, you're still hung up on this girl. I mean, she must be amazing at something for you to, have this much dedication to somebody who gave up on you. But whatever. It's none of my business. But telling her, "Hey girl, I would have ended your wedding. I would have fucked with your wedding." I would be freaking pissed if I was that girl. It's like, girl, I dumped you. I freaking dumped you. I told you deuces. We shouldn't see each other anymore. I moved on. I married this dude, and my life was kind of fine until you showed up again. And we know that she's still into her because when she saved her as Batwoman, they had the moment where they're on the bed and she seductively touches her lips, and she even makes a point of saying, "Oh yeah, this person that saved me, that was you, wasn't it?" And Ruby Rose is just like, "Come on. If I would have saved you, I would have done it as Wonder Woman." And it's like, oh my God. If you would have actually gotten somebody that was charismatic, that line could have been delivered well. It could have been funny. But I don't know if they're trying to, put comedic relief in this show, but it's so awkward and uncomfortable. If it is a joke, it just falls flat. And if it's supposed to be serious, it's not done serious enough. It's any type of emotion that you're supposed to get from that line. The only thing it gets you is ooh, why did you say that? It's like when you're watching a friend, go and hit on someone and it's just going so phenomenally bad that you're just like, "Dude, just stop. Just freaking stop. It's not working. It's not working." But that's how Ruby Rose is in this show, and it's like, But anyway, back to the knife thing. So they're sitting in the basement of this facility that apparently has no security. Some van comes rushing in, and the people with the rabbit masks, the Alice people, jump out and steal the knife and drive out. No security. There's no kind of even gate code to get in. Heck, I feel like my apartment complex has more security than this security facility. I mean, you gotta go. You gotta put the little number in. You have to have a beeper. This place, no. Any random cars can come in, and they just happen to know exactly where they were at the right time with the knife, and they just happen to get the knife. Because Alice is having a little, bitch fit temper tantrum at this house with these old people crying about how she doesn't have her knife. It's like, girl, don't you got some mastermind plans to do? But no, you're just sitting in this house with your boyfriend who was a crow that ditched everyone, is like, "Deuces, I'm gonna go make out with this psycho bitch." And she's just sitting there complaining about the knife. He's like, "We gotta do this. And she's just like, "Oh, I'm crazy. I'm just gonna make fun of you because you say things so seriously. Oh, I want my knife. I want my knife." And this old couple's just sitting there absolutely terrified at this table, and she's making them drink tea because she's Alice in Wonderland. She's got to do this weird tea stuff. But anyway, plot, things happen. We have to establish that she's there because it's going to be important later. And then, all right, then we go to this scene. So Ruby Rose, they like to use flashbacks in the show with this, and it's not the kid's fault. The kid is good in some parts. It might be the directing, but it keeps showing flashbacks of, Batwoman when she's a little kid, and how she wanted to look for her sister, and remembering, and wanting to blame herself, because she crawled out of the car. Batman did the thing with the car, so the car wouldn't fall, but then it fell, but she managed to get out of the car in time, and her sister died, and she's having all these conflicts with her father, but then, so she goes to go see her stepsister, and so her stepsister has one of Alice's men. She's been treating him. He's got, the little cuffs on him so he can't get up from the bed, but she's treating one of the bad guys. Ruby Rose comes in, and nobody knows she's Batman, so take that in mind. She goes in, la-di-dee, la-di-doo, la-di-dum. Oh, that guy's one of Alice's guys, because the sister is just like, oh yeah, I pulled out this, and I'm totally keeping it. It's one of Batman's, little flying, it's not a boomerang, but I always forget the word. That little Batman bat throwy thingy that's like a knife. And so she was healing the bad guy. Remember that. She was healing one of the bad guys because she has this, top secret clinic that's illegal, but she just helps anyone that shows up. And she even says to her, Kate, that somebody just dumped this dude here. So she was healing him. Then she's like, let's have sister bonding time. Let's go to this new place at 7 p.m. And Ruby Rose is like, okay, sure. Not really paying attention. She gets the guy up, and no kidding, she looks at him. She's like, I want you to send a message to Alice. Super intense. I want you to send a message to Alice. From Kate Kane. Waffles. It's like, what? What? She looks dead in this guy's eyes and just says waffles. And it's like, oh my god. Oh my god, you couldn't have think of something better. But okay, this waffles thing, it symbolizes something. So apparently, when they were little girls, her and the twin that died, which is Alice, went to a waffle stand, and that was their favorite place. So by telling her, they're telling the bad guy the code word waffles, it means that they are going to go meet at the waffle stand, because that's their password. That's their top secret password. Could it get any more ridiculous than this? Yes, it does. Just listen. So, Kate's getting all ready for the night. She's going, and, the replacement for Lucius Fox, his son, Luke, is going through and just saying, you need to stop being so high profile. You shouldn't be going around. You're giving everyone false hope that Batman is back. And then she's just like, well, you know what? You're basically useless. Like, because they're talking about his dad and comparing and contrasting. And she's just like, yeah, at least he was useful. And then, but right on cue, he starts pointing out all Batman's equipment. Hey, look, this is what this does. 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 Conveniently, do you think that he's pointing out every single thing that she's going to use later on in the episode? Yes, 100% yes. But a plot. So then she's getting a bag ready because she's going to go out and she's going to go meet Alice at the waffle stand because plot. And so she gets a bag full of stuff and then she goes on her merry way. And so then the dad, overdramatic man himself, they get a little nab on where Alice could be. So they're going to go. And so he knows that the place with the old people is the old house where, he had his daughters. That was his old house. That's where they grew up. That's where the girls grew up. And so Kate calls and she tells the ex-girlfriend, I need you to distract them because I know where Alice is. And then the girlfriend's like, she mentioned something about, the place where they always meet. And she's like, oh, the waffle stand? It's like, all right, so you already poured your heart out. This girl knows all of your secrets. And she's like, oh, and I'm giving her a lot more emotion than she actually had. Oh, you remembered. It's like, but then she asks the ex-girlfriend to buy her some time. Do you think she will? Do you think she's going to be honorable? You already know this girl backstabbed you once already. But you know what? Plot. So, the dad goes to the house. They find the old people. Guess what? They're dead at the table. Their throats are slit. And then he's like, oh, what a horrible person. Ex-girlfriend's just like, you do really think that this is Beth? And he's as overdramatic as ever. No, she's just trying to get in my head. You don't know. This is not Alan, or this is not my daughter. And then he's like, we need to find her. We need to set up a perimeter. Ex-girlfriend's just like, Oh, well, you know that thing that Kate, kind of asked me to do, kind of to keep a secret? Oh, yeah, guess what? I don't keep secrets. I don't stay true to my word. I'm just going to let all the information spill out as it, as it comes. Oh, I know where she is, sir. Cut over to the waffle stand. Kate goes there. We have a little flashback about how she's having a conversation with her father, and they're at the waffle place, and it's a little girl. Every time we see this little girl, all she's doing is yelling at her dad, "We need to go find Beth! We need to go find Beth!" It's like, girl, she fell in the water. The car went into the water. I don't think it's going to be that hard to find a sunken car. If the bodies are not in there, then that's another thing. The river goes a certain direction. We can just follow the river. If there's no body parts, there might be a chance that it's her. But guess what? The dad had evidence, and they show in multiple, there's a few flashbacks. This episode is like half flashbacks, half, them in actual time. But this little girl's basically yelling at her father about how they need to search for her. And she goes from, just being angry to all of a sudden being like, it's my fault because I climbed out of the car. It's like, oh my God, the acting, it's painful. And then there's another flashback scene where the dad, she fell asleep on the couch or on the chair next to the phone, and he's trying to wake her up, and he looks all sad because he knows what's going to happen. And the little girl, she had a map of all the places where they have searched already, and it's like, oh my God. And it's like, part of me is just like, okay, I get it. She's a little kid in these scenes. sometimes kids just don't understand. The dad tries to explain to her, hey, at this one farm, they found bones of this little girl. They found a little girl, like fragments of her skull, and they have your sister's DNA, so she's basically dead. And the little girl throws a temper tantrum because she's like, no, I searched there. There's no way it's her. She's alive. And it's trying to play up the fact that Kate never gave up on her sister. Even when it was proven dead, she never gave up on her, and that she's, never been able to recover from the fact that her sister is dead. And she's never been able to forgive her father for, giving up and stopping to look for her sister. So then, Alice shows up at the waffle stand. She's just conveniently on a swing. They have a weird conversation about the knife and DNA, and Kate's just basically like, why did you steal my knife? Alice like, I didn't steal your knife. You had it. I didn't send people after you. Those rabbit people that, somehow just managed to be there at the right time, or at the right place at the right time in the, the security facility that has no security, and steal the knife. Those are Alice people. Oh, dang. I wonder if that's plot. Oh my gosh, I bet it is. And then, they have a little conversation. Alice does the dramatic thing, like, when was the last time that you were able to sleep through the night? And then, as undramatic as ever, I haven't. And they have, this weird sisterly bonding thing where they're just talking and, comparing semantics about their past and the sister stuff. And she's upset. Alice is upset because they gave up on her. She had this little dramatic scene with the boyfriend earlier where she was screaming about how they gave up on her and how, her father stopped looking for her. They all stopped looking for her. It's like, girl, let me just let you know right now. If you were really her, if you knew where you lived, why didn't you just go home? If you survived, I feel like that's something that is ingrained in children. You know where you live, you can follow the river back, you can go up to the road, and you can follow the road home. Or you can stumble, you can go back to the road, you can stumble until you find another human and tell them, hey, I'm lost, can you take me home? Most kids know their phone numbers. Most kids can, hey, if I live in Gotham, let's go to a landmark, I will direct you back to my house. Or take me to the police station where they're probably reported a missing child, and I can let them know who I am so that way they can find my parents for me. It's like, come on. You're obviously, if this really is her, you obviously survived. Why didn't you just go home? It's that simple. I'd be more pissed if I was the dad and the sister. I'd be like, I was looking for you. I could not sleep. I drove myself crazy. There's been a rift between me and my father. And, I never gave up looking for you. There was always this longing. And you were just alive and you just didn't come home? Like, what the hell? What the hell is your problem? But all right, plot. For some reason, she just didn't didn't go home. Apparently she was a freaking idiot as a child. She just didn't know. Oh, I got lost. Let me try to get back home. No, she just stayed away and now she's blaming everyone else. It's like, girl, you gotta give them some credit because they did. They looked for you. You know, they talk about it. They show some flashbacks of them looking for you. You didn't make any attempt to go back. You know that the waffle stand, you have no problem going there as an adult. If you couldn't find your way home for some reason, you weren't smart enough to remember your address. You weren't smart enough to remember your neighborhood. You weren't smart enough to remember that you're from Gotham. And, to talk to a grown-up and tell them, to help you. You could have managed to find your way to a waffle stand where, you can do it just fine as an adult, even though, it's not open anymore. There's hobos everywhere. It's all run down. There's graffiti on it. Somehow you can find your way then. If you knew this is where your twin went and, maybe she lost it a little bit. Maybe, she's just cold and crazy and she's having, she saw her mom die. Maybe she's lost it when she was a kid. I'm sure you can stumble your way to some landmark that you would recognize so that way you could get home. I would think any child that is in a situation like that would try everything that they could to get to safety, which in her head, safety would be her home with her father and her other sister. But nope. Logic out the window, around the corner to infinity and beyond. That is basically, the show. So anyway, they're at the waffle stand. They're talking. Dad shows up with all the crows. Kate gets in front of her and is like, I'm not going to let you take her. She's your daughter, Dad. You need to not kill her. You need to protect her. You need to take her in and we can, prove it with her DNA. And he's like, your sister's dead. She's like, we can prove it, Dad. Take her in. So he's just like, all right, everyone, just arrest her. We're taking her to Arkham. And I'm like, woo, Arkham. They're like, that's the one thing that perked up my excitement. I was like, I want to see Arkham. That'll be cool. They're probably going to butcher it. But still, just the mention of it gets me excited. And so then they take her. What she does, she cuts open her hand with the knife that she does have and tries to give her the knife. This was before the dad got there. But I kind of forgot until now. And so that way she can prove the DNA. Then the dad showed up. So they take her. They put her in, the SWAT van that's, the heavy armored lockup van. And so they're taking her. It's on the news. They're following her on the news that they're taking her to Arkham. So Kate's got to rush and follow them. And, she got mad at the ex-girlfriend for telling the dad where they were. And then Alice even made a thing about, oh my God, I can't believe you tattled on me. And so she's got to get in the Batwoman suit because she's got to go and see where they are. The van explodes. The van explodes with Alice and then over a bridge, conveniently over a bridge, goes into the water. And then the Batwoman has this weird monologue where she's talking about how it's ironic that when she was a kid she died by falling off the car going into the river, and now it's happening again with the van as she's an adult as Alice. And I know that she's crazy. I know that she's homicidal, and she murders people, she tortures people, she causes chaos, she blows up buildings and stuff, but she's still my sister. And so her as Batwoman, she goes into the water. Excuse me. She goes into the water after her. She uses all of the Batman equipment that Luke was explaining to her earlier. Remember how I said that was important? It was very convenient that he pointed out every single object that she's going to be using in this episode. So she uses it. She has this little thing that cuts through the metal. She pulls her out. She puts a little breathing thing in her. Alice wakes up. Alice sees her as Batwoman. Sees her, and unlike the ex-girlfriend, she recognizes her, and then, oh my gosh, guess what? The van explodes. It explodes underwater. They go flying apart, and Batwoman lands on the rocks on the shore. She's not breathing. Luke thinks that she's dead. He somehow stumbled on to, activating the computer so he can track everything now. How freaking convenient. One thing gets pushed, and then everything turns on and works perfectly. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that, in Batman's Batcave, it requires no security, no passwords. Apparently, they forgot about, security clearances. Heck, I'm not Batman. I'm just a normal person, and every single one of my devices has a password that I need to use to log into something, but whatever, plot. And so he sees that she's not moving. The police are coming in. The dogs are coming in. Conveniently, they're just on the miles and miles of shoreline. They just happen to be right next to where she is. Plot again. And so, I guess in the suit, there's a defibrillator. He pushes the button twice. She wakes up. She escapes. She goes back. She thanks him. And then she tells him, well, hey, guess what? apparently Alice wasn't the one that sent, you know, those rabbit men after that took the knife, so there's somebody else working on this. And then, oh my gosh, like clockwork, instead of, you know, dragging that out a few more episodes, guess what? It's the stepmom. It is the freaking stepmom. The one that's in charge of, you know, basically the PR social media of the entire Gotham and trying to make everything look like it's happy dandy Gotham land. She talks to somebody and she's just like, all right, well, you got the knife. We got to be more careful. La-di-dee, la-di-doo, la-di-da. I'm the bad guy. Lovely. Lovely, right. And then, Kate has a moment with her sister, and the sister, oh yeah, by the way, I totally forgot because it's very forgettable. Alice made a thing about how she's jealous of the fact that Kate has a sister, a stepsister, who she has spent absolutely no time with, but she doesn't like to share things. So she sent her boyfriend after to go kill the stepsister, so that Kate had to go save the stepsister, which was why she was late to save Alice from the water. And so she saved the stepsister. Then when Kate goes and sees the stepsister's just like, well, it's ironic that, you know, Alice is jealous when you're spending all this time trying to, you know, prove that Alice is your sister and being a good sister to her, and you don't give me the time or day. And she's so scared now, so she carries a gun with her. And I'm like, do they not understand? I mean, yeah, I'm sure she could get it illegally, but do you not understand that there's, like, you have to take classes, you have to get a permit, but for some reason she just happens to have a handgun, whatever, and she has, like, just a cut on her arm from the guy. And, yeah, that's basically the gist of the entire episode. There's overacting, there's no logic, the plot is all over the place, and, you know, they're just filled with all this nonsense that's just, you know, hodgepodge thrown together, and it's like, come on, why are there never any intelligent people in this episode? And if they are, you know, they're not able to see past, you know, their own, like, this is your character. You're the doctor character. You are the lesbian character. You are the love interest character. You are the overdramatic father character. And it's like, they can't see outside of their little bubbles. And I'm like, this is 100% like a novella. And oh my God, it ended, guys, I'm not even kidding. It ended exactly like Gossip Girl. It ended with Alice writing Kate a letter as the sister, and the way that it's voiced over, it's exactly like the ending of every single Gossip Girl episode, where it just shows, you know, the actors doing what they're doing, you know, reflecting on something as, you know, the Gossip Girl narrates it. So I'm like, this is literally Gossip Girl, or Batman got hijacked by Gossip Girl. That is exactly what Batwoman is. And that was episode 2, guys. So Batman / Gossip Girl. I will be back maybe later on this week with the episode 3. I'm a week behind on my reviews, but you know, life happens. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, that's okay too. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure you click that little bell. That way you get notifications when I do other videos and live streams. If you think that this is ridiculous, just I'm sure it's gonna get worse. But let me know what you thought in the comments below. And until next time, everyone, have a great rest of your day, and may the Force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone. What's up, everyone? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and I have an Etsy store, so if you've ever wanted to own a print of my artwork, this is the place to go. As you can see, I have a lot of recognizable characters, from horror films to heroes to Star Wars characters. Some of the notable characters I have on here are Darth Vader, which I did a couple live streams painting, so you can own a print of this painting. I also have Luke Skywalker, the binary sunset version, one of my favorite scenes in the original New Hope movie. I have Darth Maul, which Ray Parks himself actually complimented me on Instagram. And then last but certainly not least, Ahsoka Tano. So if you want to own any of these prints, go right on over to my Etsy store. Again, that's The Art of Anna, That Star Wars Girl, or TSWG for short. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your day. What's up, everyone? I have a P.O. box, so if you want to send me some mail, go ahead and send it to Anna, That Star Wars Girl, or TSWG for short, at P.O. Box number 28171, Santa Ana, California, 927998171. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much.